Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Southampton versus Everton. Tough game down at St Mary's. We always, it's always a tough game down there, isn't it? And Southampton are currently on a decent little run, aren't they? They're doing well. You know, a lot of people thought they would struggle this year, but especially losing Danny Ings. But they've done particularly well, and this is going to be a tough game.
Very tough game. They were struggling a little bit, but they've steadied. The last three games have been brilliant. They've had City at home 1-1, won at Tottenham, and obviously got a point at United last time out. So they're on a strong run, definitely. And this season was one of them where, you know, Ings had gone and it was can they do it without his goals and all that. And Hasselhoff has found a different way around it. Obviously brought Armando Broja in from Chelsea on loan, got and went with him. Got Adam Armstrong in from Blackburn, who scored obviously against Everton on day one. And they've negated Ings' goals. Well, what he's done well is they've not lost many games, only lost 7 games all season. So they are tough to beat. Loads of draws, but tough to beat. And it'll be a difficult game because in general it always is at St Mary's. Everton don't really do very well there. I know we won a couple of seasons ago there, but in general it's always a tough game there.
Yeah, and I suppose they've converted what you would expect to be defeats into draws, and that's what's got them, you know, to where they are on the table at the moment, and got them away from any sort of potential trouble. And they're building all the time. The manager has done really, really well because he's never really under any pressure, and that allows him to build. You know, some guy who lost 9-0 at Manchester United last season and goes there this season and gets a good point from them. So he's been allowed to build.
That's 9-0 2 years on the run.
Well, he has, yeah.
Oh, actually, did he? Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He's been allowed to build, and obviously they've made, you know, changes, and they've brought in, as you said, younger players, and they do well on loans and do well out of bringing young players who might feel they have a pathway elsewhere. So they're doing really, really well, and for Everton this is a really tough game. Obviously coming off the back of the game against Leeds, you know, this is very much like the Newcastle game was. This is a tricky game. I know it's a different occasion, of course. It's not going to be, you know, St Mary's isn't as, you know, hostile and vicious.
And they're on 29 points. Southampton not in any danger really. So.
No, but they'll be full of confidence. So as you just said, after those 3 wins and a couple of really good away results, 4 points on those 2 games, a good draw against Manchester City. Where they
through in the FA Cup, beat Coventry in the FA Cup.
Yeah, so they'll be very, very confident, and that's, you know, they're organised, got good players like Ward-Prowse, who obviously on set pieces is really, really good. So it's going to be a different kind of challenge, and it's going to be interesting to see how we respond and how things change, if they change from last week against Leeds. Okay, it's week 26 of Ultimate Fan. There is a prize pot of £1,500 this week. Let's get into it. Right, here we go. Who am I going to change from last week? Really difficult, this. Really, really difficult. I brought Ramsey in for Villa. He did nothing for me. So I'm going to put Romelu Lukaku in there. I think he's back from scoring in the final of the World Club Championships, which Chelsea won. I've got Salah in there. He scored in the Champions League. So I'm going to keep him in there. I think Liverpool have got a couple of games this week. Phil Foden, he scored in the Champions League as well. So did Mahrez. I might put Mahrez in for Kevin De Bruyne. I think I'm going to put Mahrez in for Kevin De Bruyne. Here we go. Oh, I can't because Mahrez is a forward. No, I wanted to put him in the team. Do I put him in for Romelu Lukaku and have 4 City players in? What do I do? But Harry Kane, they're playing Manchester City, but they've got 2 games this week. Do I put Harry Kane in? Because they've got 2 games. So I go like that. I'm putting Harry Kane in instead of Romelu Lukaku. But Lukaku, they beat Crystal Palace. Is Harry Kane going to score against City? They've got 2 away games. What do I do? And do I put more Liverpool players in? Right, I'm putting Robinson in instead of Cancelo. Right, because Liverpool have got 2 games. So I've got 3 Liverpool players, 2 Manchester City players, and a Tottenham player, plus Manchester City is my team. That's what I'm going for this week. I'm playing it smart. You can too by playing it now. If you haven't got it, download the app right now. The link is in the description. Don't forget, you can play for free. You get a free pack every week. You can have a silver pack, that's $2.99, or a gold pack, $4.99 a month. There's always special offers going on as well with that. So make sure you check that out right now. And make sure you're playing Ultimate Fan.
Yeah, it's, Everton at Goodison's a very different proposition. So going away from home, we saw that with Newcastle. This won't be quite the same, I don't think, because Newcastle, it was like a cup final for them that night, and the crowd helped them, and Everton was shocking, and they took full advantage of it. I think Southampton aren't nowhere near in that perilous position, so it's a different pressure for them. They want to keep doing well and building on their results. So, but I watched a bit of the game on Saturday before I went to match them at United, and there was gaps at the back. They had Romeo playing deep, and he can't run, but he's decent on the ball, but he's not a runner. But I thought going forward, Southampton were excellent, pressing, working hard, very similar to Leeds in that everyone doing the job. Excuse me, and that's what Everton did on Saturday. Yeah. Everton pressed and harried and made Leeds make mistakes, and excuse me, frog in my throat. And Everton will have to do that again at the weekend. They won't be able to slack off like they did at Newcastle, or Southampton will win the game. So Everton won't take this lightly, because they shouldn't, because Southampton are in great form, and it's always a difficult game.
Yeah, and you mentioned there, 29 points. Everton have got games in hand.
And 7 behind Southampton with 2 games in hand.
So if Everton could get a win, then you're looking at that thing, and we could catch you, and I suppose that's the way Frank Lampard's going to be looking at things. Win games like this, and you're getting closer to teams like this, and thinking, well, let's look up rather than down. But I do think this is the kind of game, I think, again, it's one of those games where you're thinking, don't lose the game. Yeah. Just get something out of it. Yeah. And then you're going into your next, and I know our next home game is Manchester City, so it's not.
But it's at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
And at home.
But it is that case of get something. Let's see what you're made of. The team last week, the team got a lot of praise for last week, and that's continued through the week, and everyone's patting themselves on the back and stuff. So let's see how you can do against a decent team, not an amazing team, but a decent team. So it is that different challenge, and as I said, it's always tough going down there.
They only lost 1 home game,
and
that was back in September, I think, or October, to Wolves, and they've the difficult to beat. They've only won 3 home games. They've won 3, 3-5, and lost 1 of their 9 home games. So. They haven't been amazing at St Mary's, but they're also difficult to beat there. So it's always a tough game, isn't it?
I suppose that's the difference for us this season, isn't it? We haven't drawn loads of games. We've lost those games.
Yeah,
ultimately,
that's what it's been.
The games we should have drawn, or really we should have drawn, we've lost. And if we've drawn, 4 or 5 games, then you are around that same period, aren't you? To where Southampton are. It makes a hell of a difference. And we have lost those games this season. We have lost games that we should have drawn. And I think that's I think that'll be a big thing for if you don't play well, or even if you do play well, make sure you get something out of the game. Make sure there's that fighting spirit. Make sure you're not making the mistakes that we did in other games where set pieces were deciding. The likes of West Ham at home, the likes of Villa at home, where a set piece is lost as the game, where really it should have been a draw. I think that's the thing for us now.
We've drawn 4 games all season.
Yeah.
That's been the problem.
Yeah.
So the 12 defeats, which is one of the worst, and one of the worst in our thing, has been, half of them are draws, which is normally what we're like, or certainly a third of them are draws.
And half of them probably should have been draws. Yeah. That's the thing as
well. We've lost most of our games by a single goal.
Yeah.
We've obviously had a couple where it was like Newcastle 3-1 and Liverpool 4-1, but a lot, like Wolves away. Shouldn't have lost at Wolves.
No. Shouldn't have lost at Palace.
Shouldn't have lost at Crystal Palace. Shouldn't have lost at Norwich. Villa. Brighton at home. All single goal defeats. You go into the earlier part of the year, you've had exactly the same kind of thing. So you can always go, but we won't, or whatever, of course you can, but you're absolutely right. Those 12 defeats, 3 or 4 of them should have been draws, and that would have put Everton on 26, 27 points now, and you'd be looking and going, well, we're 10 ahead of the relegation. If we just win every third game, there's nothing to worry about. So this is going to be very difficult, and these make it very difficult. So we've got to match the intensity. That's the thing for me. If we play with the same kind of intensity we did at the weekend, I think we'll have a good chance. But if we back off and allow them to dictate the play, like we did at Newcastle, I think we'll struggle.
Yeah,
so,
it is interesting. Obviously, Southampton, I feel like there's definitely less pressure there, and it allows them. We know that they've been beaten 9-0 twice in a couple of seasons, so we know there's less pressure. But that allows the manager to build something, or get what he wants across to the manager in the time it takes. And
they don't spend loads of money, do they? So they're very competitive for their outlay. I imagine they don't pay huge wages either. And they're always a competitive, difficult team. So, they had a couple of good seasons with Koeman, didn't he? Where they were sixth and stuff, where they were really kicking on. And then obviously a lot of players left and money was taken out the club and whatever. But they're competitive again under Hasselhoff. So Everton have got to go and compete like that way. Otherwise, we'll come short again, and it'll be another one where we're saying, how many of these games can we come away with nothing? Because even if you get a point, and everyone looking now going, I want to win Saturday. Of course we do. We want the 3 points, and 3 points would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Of course it would. But even if it's draw, you're just adding to your tally all the time. That's what you've got to do. It's how Newcastle have got themselves out of the relegation zone. I know they've had 3 wins on the run, but they were in the position because they ground out a few draws. It's what Norwich did, got a couple of draws and then a couple of wins, and then all of a sudden you're climbing away from it. Leeds have done the same, and it's time Everton.
It looks a lot better if you're not losing every week. And that's what Everton were doing. They were we've been losing every single week, and then so you start putting points on the board. You get a win, you get a draw, especially if it's a win at home and a draw away, and then you bring them coming back.
It's positive, isn't it?
And you want to stay away from that defeat, and look like you're actually building towards something. So it's going to be very, very interesting. What do you think? There will be any changes this week?
I was just going to ask you the same. I honestly don't know. I don't know what he'll do.
It's too early, innit?
We beat Brentford comprehensively, and we went to Newcastle, and obviously we lost 2 players from the starting lineup. But when we went to Newcastle, Ben Godfrey and Vitaly Michalenko. Michalenko's back this weekend, but John Joe Kenny come in last weekend and was outstanding.
Yeah.
So again, it's do we want balance with the left foot, or do we want to keep the solidity and the defensive nature that Kenny offers, and it's away from home, so the manager might leave that alone. But it is too difficult because Delhi come on and was good for 20 minutes. Has that warranted us making a change in formation? Southampton do play 4-4-2, so Everton play 4-4-2 and you're matching them up. Damari Gray's the big one.
Yeah.
If Damari Gray's fit, he's been Everton's best player this season. Does he replace Alex Iwobi, who was outstanding? Are we saying to Iwobi, you were brilliant last week, so you deserve another go? Or are we saying, you were superb last week, but this lad's getting in before you? So it's because we're so early into Lampard's tenure, there's no patterns emerging of whether he goes full team all the time or whether he rewards people.
I think he'll keep the same team. I think he will. I think you've got Damari Gray on the bench, and you've got the ability to bring him on. You've got, I don't know how serious it was last week, but the injury to his hip, I don't think it was too in. No. But again, it's that same thing of we'll leave him on the bench. We don't need. We've got him then as someone we can bring on.
He did it with Dom, didn't he? Put him at the bench.
We've got someone then we can bring on, and I just think I think you can replicate that performance away from home. I know it won't be the same, but if you can get the players working that hard and understanding that's what they've got to do, maybe just be a little bit less aggressive, because you are away from home. But I think if you play in that manner, and I've got no issue with leaving like John Joe Kenny in the team and Iwobi in the team, because I think they deserve it. And I think Damari Gray's such a threat coming off the bench that you'd say
a different option.
Yeah, he'll give you a different option, and
he also works hard as well.
And we'll see how it evolves, because the manager will be looking at thinking, what I saw on Saturdays, what I want week in and week out, and like you just said, if they're playing 4-4-2, is there any real need to change the formation? Them as a team, I look at them and think, well, they're not blessed with superstars, so it's a case of working as hard and harder than them, and then it's a case
Try
of
not to make mistakes.
you know, and stopping, you know, things like set piece, giving away cheap set pieces and things like that, and I think you know what the players did on Saturday definitely for me means that they all deserve to play again, unless there is a tactical change, and that tactical change doesn't jump out at me right now. So we'll see what he does, and as I said, it is still really early to sort of start. We're not really into the thing of understanding fully yet what he's gonna do. Because maybe he doesn't fully yet, because he's learning about different players, and he's got players out, you know, and with injuries and stuff. So it's still early days. So I think he'll stay with the same team, I imagine. Yeah. Let's have a little look at their side from their last game out.
So there you go, the old 4-4-2.
The old 4-4-2.
4-4-2. Well, Che Adams and Brozier are obviously the threats. Obviously, you've always got to be wary of James Ward-Prowse, haven't you, with the set plays. But those two up front, both scored 6 goals this season. Adams is a workhorse, you know, and he's strong and powerful. Brozier is, you know, obviously on loan from Chelsea. A player I hope Everton go for in the summer. Quick, strong, 6'3", you know, can travel well with the ball. So he's a threat. Everton are going to have to be wary of that, of course. And, you know, what he's done, Hasselhoff, is they give him time. So everyone understands what the demands are, what the formation is, what the structure is of the team, what you have to do. When you do that, you just get used to it, you get into your rhythm, and you know, we'll build through that. They have, you mentioned it before, the young players, you know, Livramento, they bought in from Chelsea. Now, okay, he started on the bench at the weekend because Walker-Peters was playing, but he brought him on, and it's all of that, and it's like recycling that. Even in people like Kyle Walker-Peters, who's gone there from Spurs and done all right, you know. So we know that it is going to be a tough ask for Everton, but it's about time he went and ground out some away results, because they've been terrible away from home. One away win all season. Ironically, it was at Brighton, not too far away from Southampton. So hopefully we can make it 2 at the weekend.
Let's look at their danger man.
And it is Armando Brozier. 20 appearances this season. He started 12 games, got 6 goals, no assists at the moment, and he's averaging 1.5 shots per game. He's only 20 years of age.
Growing with confidence all the time, isn't he?
Growing. He'd had a loan spell at Vitesse. And scored 10 goals and 30 for them, so 1 in 3 for them. Only a young lad, like you say, 20, so not 21, I don't think, till November or something like that. So, really good player. We'll have to be on our toes with him at the weekend. But it's a game Everton can get something out of. There's no doubt about that, but it's all about attitude with us. For me, it's not really been about ability all season. I think the squad, there's enough ability in that squad to be much higher up the league, but attitude-wise, it's been poor. Whether it was because of the manager, whether it was just because they were losing games and confidence was low. But the last few weeks, certainly since Lampard come in, played 3 games against 3 Premier League sides, and we've beaten 2 of them. So we've shown we can do it.
Yeah.
It's can we do it away from home now? We've done it at Goodison comfortably. Can we now? We failed last week at Newcastle. Like you said, slightly different at Southampton. The intensity mightn't quite be there, but it'll be there on the pitch. Yeah. Can Everton match it? That's the key for me, and if they can, they'll get a result.
I think for me as well, one of the big parts of the game is going to be the set pieces, for and against. I think, you know, don't be giving away stupid fouls around the box. No. With Ward-Prowse around because he you know, in the Premier League at the moment, he's one of the best.
Oh, well,
if not the best.
It's like a penalty. It's on the edge of the box. It's like a penalty to him. So and the other side for us as well is, you know, we've improved massively on set pieces in the last few weeks. Paul Clement has come in and looks like he's, you know, it's the little simple things, good deliveries from Anthony Gordon, and players being in the right areas and players understanding where the deliveries are going to be, and that's a massive part of it. So it could be a deciding factor in this game. Parasite football, I want more of it, I really do. You know, because that's an important way to score goals, and let's see more of it. Let's see, they've had a full week on the training pitch. This first one,
you know, full week. You know, okay, you still got players missing, important players, but you go with what you've got, and with Donny van der Beek playing the way he did last week, and Again, another full week of training for him. Delhi, starting to get a better idea of, you know, who's going to play where and all the rest of it. And we've seen the last week, even on the ball, we were much better because we kept the ball, we didn't give it away cheaply. And I think, again, that's another important thing. You know, if you keep the ball better, you're not making as many mistakes, there's more chance of winning games of football.
Well, the Everton's XG shots against was 0.26, which was the best in the Premier League at the weekend. So, not allowing teams to get shots away. We proved that. Leeds had the only 2 proper efforts they had were from 25
Don't let
yards.
those efforts fall to world prowess.
World prowess. And Mary scored one a few years ago, didn't he, from about 25 yards at St Mary's, in a game where, you know, Luca Dean scored an own goal as well. So don't give him that kind of room because he's a threat. He's dangerous. Yeah, so
definitely
get out, press them, work hard, stay organised, and try and get something from the game. And if they can, then that's good. It's great. We continue the upward trajectory.
Absolutely. No facts this week, no?
Yeah, I mean, I have got them there. Just didn't know where. I'm not saying the first one. Yeah, that's poor. Everton looking for consecutive Premier League wins for the first time since September, following their 3-0 win over Leeds last time out. Toffees have won just once away from home this season, picking up 2 points from their last 27 on the road.
Yeah, that's a disgrace.
Southampton were out a clean sheet in 13 games. No side has scored fewer Premier League first half goals than Everton this season, though 3 of their 8 such strikes have come in the 2 league games under Frank Lampard.
There you go.
Everton's Richarlison has scored 5 goals in his last 6 Premier League games against Southampton, netting in each of his last 4 games against them in the competition. Only Harry Kane with 6 and Andrew Cole with 5 have ever scored in more consecutive games against Southampton.
Interesting.
Everton's Delhi has been directly involved in 9 Premier League goals against Southampton, 5 goals and 4 assists, more than he has against any other opponent in the competition. Southampton's Shea Adams has scored in his last 2 Premier League games, netting Saints winner at Tottenham and their equaliser against Manchester United. Only once before has he scored in 3 Premier League games. Yeah, so there you go. Mixed bag, really.
Isn't it always?
It's very, very difficult, isn't it? So
there you go. Yeah, another 3 o'clock kick-off on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
This is a rarity, so there you go.
Enjoy it.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Are you looking forward to it? It is always a difficult game down there. Always. We always make it some kind of scrappy affair. We got to be fair, we got battered last season down there. So
our first defeat of the season last year.
Yeah, but we got battered out, didn't we?
First half, particularly.
Horrendous.
We hit the bar, didn't we? And then after that, they battered us.
Horrendous. Yeah. So make sure to give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure, if you haven't already, download the Ultimate Fan app. The link is in the description. And join us over on Patreon as well. The link is in the description for that, and it's on the screen right now. Thank you for watching. See you later.